Hey, how you guys doing? It's good to see you. It's been a while since I've jumped on and dropped a video. I just wanted to talk about what it means to become skillful at something. And if you're jumping on based on one of the last classes we did inside of the academy, you know exactly what I'm speaking about. But nevertheless, don't jump off because this will be good for you to re-hear one more time. So it is said, and a researcher has done research saying that it takes about 10,000 hours to become a master at something. And this is interesting because when it comes to trading, usually the preconceived idea is that this should happen overnight. Everyone thinks, you know what, I'm going to learn this trading thing and I'm going to become a millionaire overnight. It is interesting to me that when we take on any other industry, such as becoming a doctor or becoming a lawyer, or really just anything, sport even, that we are willing to put in more hours. Now, I haven't done the exact math, but I know this to be true. If you were to take 10,000 hours and divide it by a 24-hour day, I think you're going to come up with over 450 days. Yeah, I'm pausing for a reason. Do you understand what that means? That means that you have to literally do 450 days of continuous, non stop study in order to become an expert at something. Now, I know most of us, we're not going to do 400 and something days. So let's say we were doing on average about 3 hours a day. Can you understand how much that number would grow exponentially in terms of how many days or how many years rather that you would have to give? But now I want to encourage you with something small. And that's why this video is not going to be that long. But I want to encourage you with something small. It doesn't have to take 10,000 or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years for the matter of fact. You see, the rule of 10,000 was more a generalization. And it really is up to you as to how long it will take. I have personally trained people that have seen the results in 6 months, and I've also been with people that's been trading for 5 years. And what we do have to understand is that everyone's got a different pace at which they learn. However, we need to look at this researched idea of 10,000 hours. Let's say it does take you 10,000 hours. Is it really worth it to put that time in such a skill? Well, let's make an example and ask ourselves, think about this. Many other industries that you can possibly be in have sort of a cap on what you can earn. However, when it comes to trading, there is no real cap. The more you make and the more you hold in your trading account, literally the more you can make over time. There is no limit at all. And yes, there might be a limit in the beginning based on how much you can put in, but there is really no limit. There is no cap upon what you can make in trading. But there is a cap in almost every other industry there is. Now, I'm not saying when you franchise out and or when you add other businesses. I'm talking about just doing one task. Let's say, an electrician or a plumber or even a software engineer or whatever. There's a cap upon which you will come and land or reach in the industry. You just can't go past that. No one is earning more than those caps. But when it comes to trading, the limit is non existent. Therefore, one really has to ask, is it worth putting in 10,000 hours? Is it worth putting in 10,000 hours into a skill that has no cap of earning potential? And if your answer is yes, then really you need to come to terms and change your perception about what it means to become a trader. You need to really decide, you know what, coach, I'm going to put in all the time, I'm going to put in all the work because I understand that the top or the cap of what I'm doing is non existent. I can literally change my life and earn whatever I want to earn. But there's one other variable that is overlooked about this, and I actually found that article for you guys to kind of just look at the headline and see what the actual creator of this 10,000 or the researcher rather of the 10,000 hour rule has found, and just follow along with me as I take you over to this article. So have a look right here. It's not only that you have to put in 10,000 hours, but really, the headline says it all. Researcher behind 10,000 hour rule says good teaching matters, not just practice. This is why you find in the industry of trading per se, those who do better are those who have mentors or those who belong to an academy or those who belong to an institution. Now, I want to speak to those of you who felt like you've already put in more than 10,000 hours. And I want to say to you that you are punishing yourself for things that were outside of your control. In other words, you were studying at your own pace, using YouTube, doing all sorts of things, trying to get it in, jumping from one holy grail to another holy grail, and genuinely just trying to make a success of it. But why it didn't work, why it didn't work with you is because you didn't have good teaching. Now, sure, in between, in amongst those YouTube videos or baby pups or wherever you've been learning, there might have been good teaching, but then if you put it all together, is it really good teaching? Because what you have to ask yourself is, are you piecing together a lot of ideas that really don't fit together? Can you genuinely say that you've given it 10,000 hours? Or is it possible, since you haven't been exposed to good teaching, you don't even have 1,000 hours under the belt? So I want to encourage each and every one regarding trading that if you're going to become an expert at it, you at least have to work inside of the framework of what has been researched. And that framework is, it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. Now, somebody might say, Coach, I don't need to be an expert. All I need to do is be profitable. I'd say even just being profitable is being an expert to a degree. Perhaps we need to relook at this and say, perhaps there are more levels to being an expert. However, what is consistent amongst all of this is that you need at least 10,000 hours, or maybe less, if you've got good teaching. You follow along on this article, you'll find out that the average is 10,000 hours, but you can short circuit that if you find good teaching. Let's look at a couple of other things that were said in this particular article and see if we can draw something from it. So, as you see, it says the researcher has heard that created this rule, which is this guy over here, has now come to the understanding that it's also about good research. It's also about good teaching, right? And so, yes, you can become good at what you are doing, but you also need a good teacher. Let's look at some of the things that are said here. What worked best for all is students that receive personal instruction with a teacher that's able to assess them individually and determine what would be the next step for them to actually develop and improve. So the gold standard really is a one-on-one situation, but that's not really what you need, because you could be in a group situation, as many of you are with our institution. You can be in a group situation and learn from fellow students and learn from your coaches. But the key here is that you are learning one thing, and the teaching and the system that you are learning from is good. So if you're going to make a success of it, the key to making a success of trading is this. The number one key is all the hours of practice you put in, make sure you are putting it in on good teaching. Good teaching. So what am I saying with all of this? If you are already a student of our academy, I'm encouraging you to go back over all the teachings and the live streams that we have done. That's good teaching. It works. You've seen it work. You've seen us do it. You know it works. And declutter from all of those things that are not valuable and good teaching. But above all else, if you're going to take away anything in this video today, let this be the thing that you take away. Do not punish yourself for the times you did not know you were not receiving good teaching. Start the 10,000 hour clock now again. Most of you are already far along the road of success. All you need to now do is to batten down the hatches, get fixed in, get locked in with good teaching, and that's going to change it all for you. What I will do for you guys that are not a part of our academy just yet, but stumbled upon this particular video, don't take my word for it. Jump on a call, email us. You know what? I'm going to drop my email in the description, and email us and jump on a free webinar call. And then on that webinar call, we can show you what we have on offer. We'll show you even what our students are experiencing, the groups that we have, our private Facebook group where we have a community chatting daily about the chart markups and the studies, our private back end where you can go over not only live classes but also pre-recorded structured video and education, not signals, not subscription services, but structured education that is really going to impact the kind of trader you become, but also more than anything, it's going to give you good teaching. With that being said, as we always say on our live classes, mindset, multiplication, and management. Hope to hear from you guys, but also don't punish yourself for things that were outside of your control. Thank you and goodbye.